And joining me now is one of my newsmakers, the National Conference President, several times Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Dr. Farooq Abdullah. Appreciate your joining us, Dr. Abdullah. Today a special day for you and your family. Omar Abdullah being sworn in a second time after a decade must bring a lot of emotion and nostalgia to you.
Definitely so, Rajdeep. It's been a struggling road up to this day, and I'm glad people have given him the mandate that he needs.
Did you ever really, did you ever really think this day would come? In that period in 2019 when both you and Omar were detained under house arrest, Article 370 removed, did you ever think a day would come that Omar would come back to this post, or the NC would come back with such a big majority?
We always had hope that people will trust us, and when that day comes, we will do well. But this is definitely a landslide that people have given us. With that goes the responsibilities also. It's not just the landslide victory. The responsibilities are far greater. That is the thing that we have to do.
Let's talk about those responsibilities, Dr. Abdullah, because this is a very different Jammu and Kashmir. It's not even a state. It's a union territory. There are question marks over the powers that the assembly will have, the role of the lieutenant governor. Do you believe that now that Omar has been sworn in, statehood will come within the next few months, or is that still a big challenge?
I think I'm quite sure that Prime Minister and his government will give us the statehood. They have promised this in the Parliament, and they have promised it to the Supreme Court, and I'm sure we're looking forward to working with him.
Now, is that a reach out to the Prime Minister after the bitterness of the last few years? Are you reaching out, you and Omar, and saying, look, you promised us statehood, give it to us?
Omar has reached out to him, and he was very nice to him on the phone. Wished him well, and said he will do everything to see that the state develops and state goes on.
It's interesting you're talking of this reach out to the Prime Minister, and he speaking also warmly to Omar Abdullah at a time when the Congress has chosen not to join your government. They were part of the India Alliance, as you are, but when it came to government formation, the Congress has decided to give you almost outside support. How does one interpret that?
I think, Rajdeep, we have still kept a seat for them, and I'm sure very shortly they will join the government.
But what stopped them from joining it? Is there a sense that the Congress is still wanting to wait and watch and see what the National Conference does? Because some of your agenda, which is, bring back Article 370, can embarrass the Congress and the rest of the country. Is there still a wariness between National Conference and Congress on the ground?
I think that's a national party. They have to look after their national interests. And we are not going to rock their boat at all. We don't intend to. It's people's wish that we have to put this forward, and we will put this forward. It's not the question of running away from it.
No, so
we leave it to them.
But are you worried
we wish them well.
Are you worried that could lead to a confrontation with the LG in the first instance, given, as I said, the LG has huge powers, and Omar before the election told me that the worry was that the assembly was being reduced to a municipality?
I think we know that at this stage, but I'm sure Prime Minister himself, having been the Chief Minister of Gujarat, he knows how the states work. And I'm confident that this state, which has multiple problems, that he will quickly give us the statehood so that we can function.
One of the challenges is ensuring that Jammu gets the same representation as Kashmir. Omar today has made a good start, many believe, by ensuring that in his 6-member cabinet there are 3 representatives from Jammu and 3 from the Valley. There's a deputy chief minister from Jammu. But would you concede, given even your experience, this is going to be the big challenge? Jammu feels left out, and Kashmir Valley, the divide between the two could only widen.
I think we are going to meet this challenge. And as we have said, Jammu is one eye and this Kashmir is another eye. Both eyes have to function together, and we will make sure that Jammu doesn't feel left out. That is our promise to people of Jammu, and we will keep that promise.
So you're saying that Jammu is one eye and Kashmir is the other, but look at what happened in the elections. Jammu voted very differently, largely for the BJP, and the Valley voted for the National Conference. So you've actually got a government in place, but minimal representation in terms of actual MLAs elected from Jammu. So how do you then build bridges when a large part of the state feels that politically they're not effectively represented?
We have seen this before also. It's not today only. I've seen this before when I was Chief Minister. But we met the challenge and we made sure that we work with them and they work with us. There's no other way the state can get on. Both regions have multiple challenges, and these challenges can only be met when we will come to that point of helping them out and they help us out. It's not a one-way traffic. Both have to work together.
You're sounding conciliatory today. As I said, the last 5 years have seen a lot of bitterness and a lot of antagonisms. Are you saying all of that is put behind now? Are you saying, because the Prime Minister talks of a Naya Kashmir, is Farooq Abdullah also talking of a Naya Kashmir given the multiple challenges that exist on the ground?
Yes, there are multiple challenges. We hope we both can build Naya Kashmir, a happy Kashmir, prosperous Kashmir, without any bitternesses. Hindu, Muslim, Sikh together, Christians, small minority, but work together. That is how we'll make a better Jammu and Kashmir. It is crown of India, and we want to see this crown shining. That's what we'll do.
Let me get this clear. You're very clear that statehood must be restored. On Article 370, would you accept it's going to be much more difficult, if not impossible, for you to restore it, given the fact that the BJP has made it clear that's a red line, no question of going back in time?
I quite agree. It's a big challenge. But we're not going to leave the challenge out. But we'll work for the state and the center. Strength of both is important. We have nuclear powers on our western front. On the northern front, we have another nuclear power. And unless we both join hands together, we won't be able to keep them away. That's our major challenge also.
Is there any possibility, I know Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, Mallikarjun Kharge were there at the swearing in, so it seems you're very much part of the India alliance. But there have been this persistent speculation that any government in Srinagar needs to work with Delhi. Given there's the BJP government in Delhi, any chance of the future of any kind of an arrangement, alliance with the BJP, or is that also a red line that you rule out?
Let me tell you, I take you back to VP Singh's government. When Rajiv Gandhi lost his seat, I was in Houston, and the journalist asked me the same question. What is your relationship going to be with the central government? I said, party relation to partyship is different, and a government to government relation is different. We have to work with the government. How will we other progress? How will they find a state progressing, peaceful, moving forwards, unless we both cooperate?
I have to ask you this, Farooq Abdullah. One charge, and it was made during the campaign itself, and even before that, is dynasty Raj. There's a sense that the Abdullahs, and this goes back to your father, Sheikh Abdullah, you became 5-time Chief Minister, now your son, second time, have dominated the valley, and thereby it is family Raj. What will you say today when you saw your son taking over? Is this the return of family Raj or a Naya Kashmir?
What is family Raj? People elect. It is not you and I are the only ones. It is people who have elected him. This question of family Raj and this Raj and that Raj, I think should be put behind. It's a democratic country. It's a secular country. And in a democratic country, anybody can be elected, anybody can be defeated. So let's start thinking of not family Raj, people's Raj.
No,
people's Raj.
No, it's a nice word, sir. So you're saying people's Raj, but the truth of the matter is the Abdullahs have dominated the politics of the Kashmir Valley. Even in this election, it almost seemed as if people saw no options beyond the National Conference because you've been the oldest party of the valley, dominated by one family.
You know, it started in 1931. 38, it became National Conference. Ever since that day, people have trusted in this party, in the leadership. And I hope they continue to trust and we continue to do good for the people. The day we fail, we'll be out. Somebody else will be coming in. Mm-hmm. So this story of saying family Raj, kindly put it behind.
What will
not a family Raj.
What will you tell the people? Raj. What will you tell the people who say don't trust the Abdullahs? The Abdullahs cannot be trusted. You've heard these comments over the years. Some have even called you anti-national at times. What will you tell them on this day?
I'll tell them, if we were anti-national, we're anti-India, we wouldn't have been here. Kashmir would never have been part of India. If Sheikh Muhammad Abdullah, Shahri Kashmir, would not have been there, and he would not have friends like Gandhi and Nehru, Pakistan was on our border, and we are a Muslim majority state. Easily we could have gone there, but we chose India. And we continue to choose India because India is our home. Let that be clear to people of India who listen to your program.
My final question...
Don't dub us. We are Muslims, yes.
Yes.
But we are Indian Muslims. Never doubt us.
My final question...
That is what I want your program to give this message to the people.
Sure, it's a strong message you're giving. My final question to you, your son runs the show. There's talk of you coming to the Rajya Sabha. Is that going to be the final chapter of your long political career, or are you now ready to retire?
I never retire. The day I retire is the day I sleep forever. I hope God gives me that strength. That not only Jammu and Kashmir, but I work for whole India. For strengthening India. That is what I want.
And what's your final piece of advice for your son Omar?
My advice will be humble, listen, keep your ears open, eyes open, and take decisions by taking people into confidence. Never think that you are a Führer. Always think you're people's servant and be humble and serve the people. That will go for you forever. That is what matters to all of us. Never think that you are king.
Okay.
Think you are a servant of the people, sitting on that chair where people have brought you.
Let me leave it there, Farooq Abdullah. Those are fine words that you're giving to your son as advice on the day that he took over as Jammu and Kashmir's Chief Minister for a second time. I appreciate you joining me here on the show tonight. Thank you so much.
Rajdeep, help us to see that this state progresses. If we are ever wrong, please be first to tell us. We love that.
Okay.
God bless you, and God bless your program.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.